You don't have to tell me twice to take a nap. I take naps every day. And they're like, not like, oh, I'll take a 30-minute nap. They're like 3-4 hour long naps. Hey everyone, it's Olivia and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to go over a few tips that could possibly help you recover from an autistic meltdown. Before I jump into the video today, I just wanted to say thank you because a couple exciting things happened this week. One, my very first video about my top 10 female autistic traits, which I'll link up above, hit 1 million views. I'm blown away. That's absolutely incredible. I'm so honored that you guys have watched it and shared it and that it's been helpful for you guys. And then second, we also hit 30,000 subscribers today actually. So that's also super, super exciting. I just wanted to thank you all for your support. It really does mean the world to me. One other thing is that I started a membership club here on YouTube, and I think you can find it in the join button down below this video, and you get some awesome perks if you join, including personalized video messages from me if you have a question for me. So if you have a question relating to autism, you can send me an email and I will give you a video response to that question. Now, finally jumping into the video, first I just wanted to say that these tips are from my personal experiences and these are things that always help me, but they may not help you or the next person, or maybe some will help, some won't. So just keep that in mind, of course, because every autistic person is different. Here are 5 tips and techniques, I guess, that I use to help myself recover from an autistic meltdown. Number 1. Alone time and quiet time. Now this is something that's super important for me, and I think a lot of other autistic people I know. I've been told from a lot of you guys that you need alone time, especially after a meltdown, because basically after a meltdown, your brain is super overloaded, it's overstimulated, and it's just kind of fried, so it needs time to recover. So being alone where you don't have to interact with people, you don't have to put on a mask, you don't have to, be focused on social situations or talking or anything, and just being quiet so that you're not overstimulated is a perfect environment to help your brain start to recover from the meltdown. You can kind of just be alone, you don't have to think about a lot, you can just focus on just kind of living in the moment and trying to overcome the meltdown that you just had. If you do need to communicate with somebody during your meltdown recovery, at least for me, I usually experience selective mutism. And I know that's the case for a lot of people. They have a really hard time communicating during and after a meltdown. So if you do need to communicate something to someone and you can't talk, try writing it down or texting. That's something that I do, and it's something that's super helpful because you don't have to try to talk and you can just write it down and send it off or give them a note or something so that you can get the help that you need. And if you're not quite sure what an autistic meltdown is, I'm going to link that video up above because I've also done a video all about that, explaining in detail what an autistic meltdown is. Tip number 2 is watching your favorite shows or movies. 1, because usually you're just having a good time and you're happy when you're watching something that you really enjoy and love. But 2, the main reason is actually when you're watching a show or movie that this can actually help your brain feel in control because it can predict what's going to happen next. When you're watching a movie or show you don't know and it's new, your brain really has to focus hard on what's happening because it doesn't know what's going to happen next. Whereas a video or movie or show that you do know really well, your brain knows exactly what's going to happen next, so it helps it calm itself down and feel in control after not being in control during your meltdown. I personally usually go for an animated like Disney movie or a comedy because I definitely don't want to watch like a dark thing or scary movie after a meltdown. And some of my personal favorite movies are the new Luca movie on Disney Plus because I partially grew up in Italy and it just really reminds me of my second home, which always calms me down, and it's kind of like my safe haven. And then I also really enjoy The Incredibles. I think those are just hilarious. And a live action movie that I really love is National Treasure. I love National Treasure 1 and 2, and I'm still hoping that there's gonna be a third one. And a show that I really like is My Wife and Kids. I don't know if a lot of people know of it, but it was a sitcom with Damon Wayans in the early 2000s, and it's freaking hilarious. And I watched the episodes like so many times over. So again, all these movies I've watched a lot. I can like recite the lines from it, so my brain knows exactly what's gonna happen, and it feels calm and relaxed and in control. Tip number 3 is go eat your favorite foods. Now, I personally love eating and love food. It's like one of my favorite things. Maybe that's not for you, but for me, food makes me happy. So I really enjoy going and eating my favorite foods, which is mostly sweets because I have the biggest sweet tooth in the world. So a cookie or piece of cake or whatever always makes me feel good. I know it's such a classic thing, you know, anybody, whether you're autistic or not, whether you had a meltdown or not, you can go eat, you know, comfort food and it makes you feel good. So the same kind of applies in this situation. Tip number 4, take a nap. Now, napping is also one of my favorite things in the world to do, eating and napping. If I could just do those 2 things for the rest of my life, I would be forever happy. Like I mentioned, after a meltdown, your brain is really overstimulated and overloaded, so it needs some downtime to heal itself, which is why, you know, being alone and having quiet time is good, but taking a nap can be even better because it allows your brain to focus solely on healing itself and recovering, because you don't have any external stimuli and you don't have to focus on anything. You can just go to sleep, have a good nap, or go to bed, and your brain can focus on recovering. Tip number 5, go do something involving your special interest. This can create a good distraction for your brain and just allow you to do something that normally makes you really happy. Now, make sure that you do your special interest. If you're feeling up to it, make sure you get the rest first and your brain is okay and you're not overly exhausted. But if you're feeling up to it, you know, if my personal special interests are writing, so maybe I'll go write in one of the books I'm working on, or I love baking, so maybe I'll go bake something, which also goes back to tip number 3, which is eating your favorite foods. And I also enjoy watching sports, so if there's a sporting event on, I can kind of, even though my brain obviously doesn't know what's gonna happen in the live sporting event, it can still kind of zone out. I don't need to like super be paying attention and following a storyline. And if you don't know exactly what autistic special interests are, I'll link my video about that topic above for you as well. So now I have a bonus tip for you, and it's gonna sound really stupid, but I thought I'd share it with you because ever since I was little, it's something that has worked for me. When I'm really like in my meltdown and crying and trying to come out of it, I will go brush my teeth and it always gets me to stop crying. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because I have to focus on like a simple task, or because I have to have my mouth open and I can't really cry while I have a toothbrush in my mouth. I'm really not sure, and this probably sounds really silly, but even when I was really little, and obviously I didn't know I was autistic yet, and I didn't know why I was having these meltdowns, but I knew that if I went and brushed my teeth, I could usually get my uncontrollable crying to stop. So I just thought I'd share that as a little bonus tip. Maybe it could help you too. Maybe it's super stupid, I don't know, but I just thought I'd share it with you just in case. Obviously, during a meltdown recovery, avoid your triggers which send you in a meltdown so that you don't have another meltdown, and always try to give yourself some grace. Don't beat yourself up about it. Don't feel guilty or embarrassed or ashamed because it's nothing you can control. I know I deal with a lot of embarrassment and shame, and it's something that I'm trying to get over, so I just wanted to reiterate that to both myself and to you guys, that there's, you know, nothing to feel bad about. For me, my meltdown recovery can sometimes last for days. I'm just kind of in a fog and exhausted from the experience for days. So, you know, go ahead and redo all the things that help you. I'll watch, you know, my favorite movies and shows for several days. I'll take long naps several days in a row. Just anything to help your body and brain recover. And you don't need to rush the recovery. There's no timetable, so take your time and listen to your body. Okay, that is it for this week's video. Those are 5 plus a bonus tip for how to maybe help you recover from an autistic meltdown. I hope, as always, you enjoyed this video and maybe learned something. Thank you so much for tuning in, as always, and I hope you have a very blessed week, and see you soon.